Oh, do I feel good today? What is up, universe? I already see the chat is popping. It is Football Friday, but not just any normal Football Friday. It is championship weekend in college football. I am your boy, the coach, and we are here live every single weekday, also on Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern time. You can also catch us on Stadium and all of the apps, Amazon Prime Video, YouTube TV, DirecTV, etc., every single weekday at 3 p.m. Eastern time on demand. On Saturdays as well. We're always trying to take care of you. I already see a lot of people in the chat are saying, man, almost. We had a winning night, but almost. I'm okay when I'm the losing ticket for our crew. I went 1-4 last night, but so close to 4-1. But that's betting. The rest of the crew, solid as a rock. There you see DG, Raphael, Young Peyton, Seabass. Oh, how about Charles 3-0? So really good day in Raphael in the evening. Didn't have enough space there, but I was 1-4 to make sure I say it verbally. Now, we have so much content here at The Brand. You guys know, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's growing every single day. And turn on those notifications because you will be notified as soon as any new show starts, just like our fresh content every single day. Of DTL, the podcast, the audio drops around 2 p.m. Eastern. If you are a premium member, you get the video around 3 p.m. Eastern time. Now, it's hard to believe. It's been, well, about a year, AB. And today's a special day for you and I. It's a first Football Friday championship, and I could not be more honored. I could not be more thrilled to be sharing this with you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. Yeah, you're right. It is a special day. Yeah, football championships indeed. That's what it is. Look, let me say this. All right, back on that recap screen, not to go to it, but I'm saying let me shoulder the losses on that one. Don't you worry about that, Coach. Now, we had Jared Goff, nailed, the running back.
Nailed.
Absolutely. Apparently, but you know what? The Lions followed the plan. The Packers did not, and that's why they've got an L going on tonight. But
well, it was a weird situation because whenever you're betting on passes or things like that, whenever the ball gets inside the 3, for whatever reason, we had a lot of penalties in the end zone. So Josh Jacobs, he had 3 touchdowns. We talked about it on primetime, didn't we? Said, hey, maybe sprinkle a little bit on his 2 touchdowns, like plus 400, plus 500. That came in. So you got to watch live too, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And what about the Packers going after the Lions secondary on those pass interference calls? Literally, we were all over that they're going to exploit that. The Lions are the worst in the NFL. If there's one thing that they don't do well, man, it's the secondary, dude. It's DPI all day long.
Every time Herb Street said something about the secondary, I thought about you. I thought about the no-fly zone. And they would actually do replays saying, well, this guy's in for that guy, and he didn't know where he was going. I was like, man, AB just told me that.
Yeah.
Just told me that. So it was a lot of fun. The over came in. I did hit that 65 points last night. Such a ton of fun. But today is a new day, AB. So Howie Schwab would have loved this weekend. He would have loved this day. What are the selections that we can vote on today?
Absolutely. He'd have loved some West Coast Championship football tonight. Mount West, here you go. UNLV plus 4.5 or Boise State minus 4.5. You're going to go with the over 57.5 or the under 57.5. Polls in the chat. Vote now. Update as we always do at the end of the show.
All right, we are jam-packed. Zach says, Wi-Fi's been out for the past 4 days. Glad I can finally tune in again. Zach, we're glad too. But, hey, DG's has been out for 4 days too, and he still tried to be on the show. So there you go. All right, AB is here, and I got the best damn crew in the business. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the picks. All right, we go 5 wide on a Football Friday, and I go to the man who was perfect last night and yesterday and nailed every single one. Christian Watson, Sammy Laporta, Big Chuck, live from the Dirty. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Coach, crew. Yeah, I thought if that game played out the way it did, that we would have a big night, and lo and behold, we were successful. But shout out to the whole crew. We really produced last night, so big congrats. Excited for this weekend to come up, ready to get it going.
You're damn right. Let's go right above you because last night, not only did he get check marks, but he also had a very eventful post game down there in Memphis, and he looks great today. Very clear. DG, what's good?
Morning, Coach. Good morning, crew. Last night we had Ayo Dosunmu for under 3.5 rebounds. Usually I'm a little irritated when we miss a play, but the dude had his first career triple-double, just went off. So bad read overall, but a great night for him.
Damn right. It's not always about winning every single play. We teach that all the time here. AB, go.
Yes, could you please make sure that myself and Soupy do not have to pronounce that name?
Now I'm thinking, how do I make them pronounce that name? Now, speaking of Soupy, he's got the best beard in the game. And coming up later, we've got our starts and sits and fantasy. We've got a lot from this man today. Soupy, good morning.
Good morning. It has been a very, very busy 12 hours for me getting ready for the prize picks, the fantasy picks, and covering all of the Power 4 conference championship games.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's been a lot. Real quick, I see Cortez. I needed that one tutty from Love. What did you make last night? I'll come right back to you, Soupy, quickly, of how the game played out. And we did hit a lot of plays, but it could have been a spectacular night. Who would have known that Josh Jacobs would score 3 times?
I had Josh Jacobs over 100 scrimming yards, and I'm looking at the end of the game. I'm like, oh, let me put that check mark, and I look at the stat sheet. I'm like, oh, he only had 66 rushing yards, no catches. But in fantasy terms, you get 3 touchdowns from him, you are probably sitting good right now heading into Sunday.
Charles, the Lions now have a little bit more of a cushion between the Packers, but we saw another classic Dan Campbell rant after the game. It reminded me a lot of you. What did you make of the Lions last night?
Hey, the Lions, they pulled it out. They finally didn't cover. I know the books are happy about that. The over is still cash, but the books have been getting killed by this Lions team. But that's classic Lions. They go forward on their own, 20, 30, don't get it, allow the Packers back in the game, but then close the game going for it. So that's just what you get with Dan Campbell. Let's hope it doesn't happen in the playoffs, championship, or Super Bowl, and it comes down to that. Then that's going to be the real question as to how much you follow this coach.
Yeah, I had a lot of back and forth with some people last night. Oh, they were chirping when he went for it on 4th and 1, tie ball game, 45 seconds to go. Don't think I would have done it, but hey, if you want to chirp, you can chirp. Let me come to you, DG, quickly. Tim Patrick, who would have known that he was going to have a career night and really good play calling to go away from Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Patrick 6 catches, 43 yards on his dad's birthday.
Special story, and honestly, a good guy that's kind of been around for a while. And so shout out to him having a great night, but also on the other side of the ball, Christian Watson going for 100 plus. A great game out of both those guys.
No doubt. 4 catches, 114. Elliot says, Dan Campbell thinks he's playing Madden. Elliot, I know. Going for it from your own 29, start of the 4th quarter. He can do what he wants. We talk about it all the time. All right, wait, we got to get into our picks because I know they're going to be absolute fire. So, producer man, let's fire up that screen. And AB, I'm coming over to you. You got a little bit of everything today. Start us off.
First off, all right, yes, we do, Coach. All right, we're going to do a little parlay tonight, basketball and football. All right, we're going to take Illinois basketball on the money line, 3.5-point favorite. All right, and we're going to take Boise State football on the money line. Put those two together, plus 135. And then for Saturday, look, all right, the line has sat here long enough, all right, and it's drugged me in. I'm in. Oregon minus 3.5. There's something up with this game. The books are thinking that Oregon is not going to take it seriously. I've seen Penn State play, nothing against them or James Franklin or anybody else. If you're going to give me Oregon minus 3.5, I'm going to take it. I thought this number would go and it'd give me an excuse not to play it. But apparently not. You keep bringing me back in. So give me Oregon tomorrow, minus 3.5.
You just keep sucking me back in. Lance says, I'm riding with AB tonight. You're damn right. I'll go next because you just talked about Boise State. That game is today. It's a Friday game. There are 3 games, in fact, today. I think Boise State rolls tonight. The motivation of getting into the playoffs, I think, is going to be way too much for this UNLV team. So I think they cover the 4.5 fairly easily. Then Iowa State, no, I can't believe this number stayed where it is. Plus 1.5. Some books have it at 2. But Arizona State's missing their everything wide receiver, Jordan Tyson. So that means everything shifts to the other side, and Iowa State can double team their other leading receiver. They got a pretty good running back, but Iowa State's going to win this game, and they're going to go to the playoffs, the Cyclones. All right, Soupy, big boy, let's go.
Yeah, I'm looking at Clemson and SMU. We penciled in Miami as SMU, but that did not happen. Clemson's a good team. Clay Klubnik is having a fantastic year, 29 passing yards, just 5 picks, much much better season than last year. And then Brashad Smith and Kevin Jennings, very dynamic duo. These are top 15 offenses. That's why we're going to see a lot of scoring. Give me the over 55.5. And coach, maybe we can both hit these plays because I'm going with Arizona State on the money line. Yeah, you're right. They don't have their best receiver, but Cam Scatterbo, he is their offense. And going against Ohio State, who is 96th in rushing yards allowed per game, and he's gotten over 140 in 5 of his last 7.
So you think we're going to middle that at 1? Is that what you just said? Let's middle that at 1. I would rather have a showdown with you and call it a day on the money line. Are you in?
I'm in.
Or are you out?
I'm in.
Let's go. 1 membership on the line. I will take Iowa State on the money line. Soupy's got Arizona State on the money line. All right, DG, 2 big plays. Let's go.
Western Kentucky and Jacksonville State, they both just played last week, and we had this same exact play on the Weekend Wager Show. We're going to go right back to it. Western Kentucky, Jacksonville State, first quarter, both teams to score at -110. Now we're going to go a little Ray McLeod. We're going to go over 30.5 receiving yards at -114. The Minnesota Vikings give up receiving yards like it's their job. Ray is seeing so many targets right now, and he's covered this line the last 3 weeks. So we're going to ride with my guy. Ray McLeod.
You get so excited when you say his name. You get so excited. AB, go.
Yeah, DG just brought it up, that Western Kentucky, Jacksonville State, they literally just played last weekend. Like, imagine game planning for the same team 2 weeks in a row. Like, I'm fascinated to see how that would get. Well, the first one, I think, was, 1916? I think. Yeah, because it really didn't matter for Jacksonville State. Now it absolutely matters for Jacksonville State. Yeah, with DG there.
Which makes it even harder to handicap when one didn't have a lot to play for last week. But that's why we're here. And by the way, we'll see where that number is for Ray. Sunday morning, we are live at 10 a.m. Eastern time, breaking down all the ones and all the 4 o'clock games before Sunday Night Football, which DG will be hosting because I have a big event down in Florida. Wheels up tomorrow. Chargers, Chiefs. I'll have my phone in my pocket. Don't even worry about it. All right, we're changing things up a little bit because we want to take care of you better. Raphael's already in the chat. Charles will be there momentarily, but we got to get to the 5-pack. So I just need me and Big Chuck. Let's start with Friday games. 2 of those. Charles, let's go.
Fridays, Serie A, Inter Milan, Parma. Both teams to score, with Inter scoring in every league match this season, and Parma in 12 of 14 games themselves. League One, Lille versus Brest. Another both teams to score, as Lille averaged 1.6 team goals at home, and Brest score an average of 1 team goal on the road. Moving on to Saturday, Bundesliga, Gladbach versus Dortmund. This is the Borussia Derby, over 1.5 first-half goals. It's produced 2 or more first-half goals in 5 straight and 6 of their last 7 meetings. EPL, Brentford versus Newcastle. Brentford first-half, team total over half a goal. I'm going to keep riding this train with the Bees scoring a first-half goal in 11 of 14 league matches this season. And lastly, La Liga, Betis versus Barcelona. The both teams are scoring over 2.5. That's cashed in 5 straight and 7 of their last 10 fixtures.
It is a busy weekend on the pitch, and Chuck has been on fire. Reminder, Raphael's already in the chat. Chuck will be in the chat. Any questions on any games, put them in the chat. You'll get them answered in real time. We want to take care of everybody, and we're trying to figure out exactly how to do that, but I think it's a really good formula. Big Chuck, thank you very much. Real quick, our resident benefactor, I need that 5-shot. I have to give some subs today for the shout-out Coach gave to my superstar softball playing granddaughter, AB. He just gave 5 more. What do we think?
Robert, I mean, the ultimate friend of the program right there. Like, he's literally the NIL. Him, Liddy. Like, look, everybody's bringing it. All right. And also Scoops. I didn't get to say this. Scoops is just such, you said a catcher, right?
Yeah.
That's such a good nickname for a catcher. Like Scoops, Pudge, right? Remember Rodriguez? Like, dude, it's Scoops.
Let's go,
Scoops.
Scoops.
A good nickname.
Let's go, Scoops. Yeah. Oh, man. So good. Robert, or as I say, Roberto Bibo. 5 more. All right. We're just getting started. What a vibe on this Football Friday. Still to come, we've got NFL. We dig deep. We got college football, a ton of big games on Saturday. And also, we dig into a little educate and entertain. Are we really seeing Bill Belichick? What? Detail to vibe. It's Friday. Let's go. All right, we continue on our YouTube page. All you degenerates out there, we love you so very much. DG, last night, you had a big post-game show, and it was a little spicy from what I understand because Ja got thrown out last night. What do we make of Mr. Morant getting tossed?
Yeah, my co-host started the show off with the Three Blind Mice kind of duet a little bit. So it was a great night, but the referees are kind of entering themselves into the game a little too much. There's too much fanfare going on, and it's a little bit soft, but Ja was having a horrible night, 28 minutes, minus 32 in the game. So I think he did himself a favor and got thrown out.
Oh, my God, minus 32, and they still won the game, AB. They still came back. But when you're throwing out superstars, the refs have got to be better than that.
I know. Yeah, hey, look, as soon as Josh said he's not going to dunk anymore, he's focused on his health, all right? He started going the Joel Embiid route. Kidding. Josh's wild, man. Like, that dude is views. Like, it is never a dull moment with Ja Morant, ever.
Ever. Big Soupy. This guy, when you're a superstar and you're a great dunker, you don't advertise that you're not going to dunk anymore like he has done this week.
Yeah, you just took away a whole aspect of the game. Now you know he's not going to go to the rim and try to attack it. So that's how you defend him. But Memphis, they're playing great ball this year. They're second in the league in points per game. Big turnaround from last year, mainly because everybody's healthy.
That's damn right. How are they playing right now, DG?
Yeah, they're playing really well. They've won, I think, 6 at home, and they've won 6 out of the last 7. But it's not that he won't dunk. It's because he dunked in that game that he actually said he wouldn't dunk in. But the reason is he's not going to get up and try to make those stupid dunks where he's flying through the air and somebody can kind of undercut him. And so that's really all it is.
Really smart by him to do that, because even though sometimes you get a spectacular dunk, more times than not, because he only weighs $170 or $180, he's going to get hurt. And they need him in the lineup. If they want to be any kind of viable NBA team, you got to have Ja on the floor the entire 82 games and into the playoffs. Memphis deserves it. The fans deserve it. And damn it, Ja and his career deserves it. He's one of the greatest players in the NBA. We got to start treating him like it. He's got to start playing like it. All right, we're just getting started. We are back live in just 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. It is DTL. It is Football Friday. I got the best damn crew in the business, and it's not even close today. We're looking forward to the NFL coming up in about 15 minutes from right now. But AB is here, DG is here, Soupy is here, Charles and Raphael, they are in the chat. Any questions, put them into the chat. They'll answer them for you in real time. Gentlemen, it kind of feels like Christmas morning. It really does. We've been able to talk about college football at a fever pitch for the last 2 months. Every week has mattered in the month of November. And AB, now we got 3 games today. And Boise State is the only game playing today that has an impact on the playoffs. But there's a lot of pressure there. 8 o'clock, they're on the Big Fox. And you got to believe that they're going to be feeling that pressure to get in for the first time.
Oh, 100%. I mean, this one's real, all right? And when you have a game, all right, that means everything, you're going to go to your star player. So, look, in Tennessee, you can't bet college player props. But I hear Boise State's got a pretty good running back, and he might do a little Josh Jacobs from last night. So, if you're looking to bet anything, even though the numbers, I'm sure, are insane, I wouldn't be surprised to see Janty go off.
Yeah, DG, right now, Boise State's at 4.5. I played them as one of my best bets. They've kind of been under the radar because they don't get a lot of national exposure, but they do have a great running back. He might win the Heisman Trophy, not sure. But I know this, that on the field, he is dynamic and he finds the end zone. And tonight could be a coming out party for him.
You're talking about moments, right? And we're looking at a moment tonight for Ashton Jeanty. And honestly, I don't know if they've already placed their Heisman bets or not, but either way, this could be a moment for him on draft stock, honestly, setting himself up and further apart from everybody else. It might be setting himself up to where he can get a good drafted team, but also a good spot for him. So I'm excited to watch this. Ashton Jeanty has been absolutely electric all season long. I expect him to be electric tonight.
Soupy, are you looking forward to anything from today's game? Because really, this is the only one. You got Tulane and Army, UNLV, Boise State, Western Kentucky, Jacksonville State, which DG is on. Anything tickle your fancy?
I first want to mention, all right, so I do have rushing props here in Connecticut. Oh. Plus 176 for Ashton Jeanty. Plus 176 is minus 105. His rushing props are always absurd, but I'm looking at Tulane and Army. I want to see if Tulane really did deserve that playoff spot. They lost to Memphis. It kind of took them out. Army, a great run game, but Tulane, they are explosive as Notre Dame is. I think Tulane is going to win in a big way at West Point. The Army is going to look very sad tonight.
I don't know that I've ever seen a 176 over under on a running back ever, college or pros. That is bananas. All right, let's morph it into Saturdays. And producer man, I would love to see that playoff graphic as we talk about all of these games. We start at noon Eastern because Iowa State and Arizona State, this is a conference, AB. They're only getting one because everything played out. Colorado, sorry, Dion, you're not getting in. K-State, hey, none of them. BYU, sorry, you played your way out. This is about Arizona State and Iowa State. And when you miss players, how big of a deal do you think it is, AB, in college? Because they've got a stud, Arizona State, he gone.
Oh, it's huge, man. I mean, it's huge, right? And you got to remember, too, that these aren't professional players, right? Like, these are college kids, right? So you've got all this going on. It's brand new to them, all right? You've already got locker rooms this year and moving forward that are going to feel like professional teams because players are gone. You've got transfer portals coming in. You've got transfer portals coming out. You've got finals that are going on right now. You know, players are, figuring out what they're going to do for Christmas, going out, like all kinds of stuff. You got to worry about your parents traveling if you're going to make some of these games. Like, there's so many things going on to where, when you're in the NFL, you could just go buy 20 plane tickets. You know what I mean? Like, you've got a checking account for that. Some players do right now in college, the quarterbacks. Everyone else does not. You know what I mean? So that's what's fascinating about all this is that you're adding games to the schedule that we've never had before. Man, it's going to be wild.
It is going to be wild. The entire month of December, and you see those games on the left, those will all be home games. And there's not going to be any more big gap, DG, between championship weekend and when the playoffs start, which is awesome. We don't want that. We want the players to stay in shape and stay motivated. And when you look at this Georgia-Texas game, and it's been kind of steady around 2.5 to 3. Remember, Georgia beat Texas the first time around, but Texas is now the higher-ranked team. How much of how this game plays out do you think will affect ultimately the final rankings?
Well, the committee said these extra championship games wouldn't. But I don't believe you. I don't believe you one bit because I think that these will have a big impact on how they see these teams. And we're not going to see SEC versus SEC or whatever conference is your favorite in the first round. I think it's very important, but I think in the end, we're going to have the Big Ten in the first spot no matter what. We're going to have the SEC in the second spot no matter what. And at that point, it'll be whoever wins that game is in those spots. And then we're going to see the Big Ten in that 5th spot overall. In my opinion, win or lose, Penn State or Oregon is there. I don't think they matter as much, but I really do expect that Georgia plays well early, but Texas ends up winning that game.
I would not, Soupy, want to have a home game or have to go to a home game at Georgia in the first round. So if I'm a team, I'm hoping Georgia, because I feel like Texas is way more beatable than Georgia is when you're talking big-time games.
I watched that game again with Texas and Georgia, and Georgia looks even better right now. And what they did is they pressured Quentin Ewers. They forced him to make the throws he didn't want to make. And if they continue to do that, that's how they're going to win. But Georgia, Carson Beck didn't have his best game. He threw no touchdowns, 3 picks. He threw 12 picks in 6 games. And now in his last 3, he has 0. So I think he's going to be a lot better in this game. Even if ETN's not playing, I love Nate Frazier on the ground. He's got touchdowns in 5 straight. I still think Georgia could pull this game off.
Let's go back over to UAB and go to the Big Ten, because that's going to be the fascinating one. With the way the rankings came out, the committee basically told us Ohio State, with those 2 losses, despite the fact that they lost to Michigan, will be in. Indiana looks like, for DG's purposes, will be in. But he just said that Penn State and Oregon, regardless, will get in. Do you believe that Penn State, despite losing to Ohio State, that no matter what happens, let's say they lose by 30, Penn State still get it?
Yeah, I do. I think that Penn State's a lock to get in. To be honest with you, I think that pretty much all of these teams, like what we're seeing here, if you go by what Ward Manuel said, that it's really not going to change all that much. Now, again, I'm with DG. I don't believe that, right? Because what happens if you're going to have a blowout? Remember, Florida State went 13-0 last year, won the ACC, and they put Alabama in. over Florida State because of an injury, right? Money. What happens if one of these teams has a star player, a quarterback that gets hurt? That's done. I'm not wishing that, but I mean, we just saw it last year, right? What happens if Penn State gets blown out by Oregon? All right. Does that affect Ohio State's strength of schedule? Okay. What happens if Georgia beats Texas? What if they beat them badly? Does Texas fall? All right. What happens if SMU loses to Clemson? What if SMU loses badly to Clemson? Does that knock them out completely? Do they fall behind Alabama? Like, that's where I'm going. And DG is absolutely right. They could say what they want, but these things happen on the field, man. And your mindset changes. You know what I mean? Like, I would look at that 9-8 Tennessee and Ohio State. Like, what happens if that flips? So I'm interested to see, man.
Aaron says the college football committee wants to give Ohio State the advantage they can and give them a home game because they know if the useless nuts come to Neyland, Vols are going to what, AB?
Whoop that ass.
Whoop that ass. Now, you mentioned Clemson, SMU. Big Soupy, let me come over to you because Clemson has kind of been that team that they've spread their 3 losses out. And Dabo has never been one for the NIL, never been one for all of this nonsense, but yet they still have an opportunity, despite losing last week against South Carolina, to get into the playoffs. My question is, at 11-1, does SMU get in if they lose?
I've been kind of toying with that thought. I think it depends on if they lose by a possession or 2%. I think if they get blown out, it's over for them. They'll figure the committee will figure a way to put another SEC team in. If that stays close, I think SMU could sneak in, but they would probably have to play in a away game. But for Clemson, if they lose, they're done. They have too many losses, but SMU still has a chance.
Roger says if Georgia loses, they should be on the road to Bloomington. That's it. All right, AB, go.
No, keep going. Keep going.
So I was going to come to DG. That's the next layer of this is not just who gets in, but who's going to get these home games. Can you see a scenario where Indiana would host the Georgia Bulldogs? Oh, my goodness.
Indiana hosting anything in Bloomington at the Rock, like that would be amazing. It would be amazing for the fans. It would be amazing for football. That Indiana team, I know we now see a little bit of what Ohio State looked like when they lost to Michigan, but I really think that Michigan's defense and their line is really good. So it helps me out in my agreement that Indiana is the real deal, and I think they're going to be good. I think they're going to shock people in this playoffs for sure. So I'm excited to see, and I hope that happens. Please let it happen.
I know you do. AB, go.
All right. What nobody's talking about. If you want chaos, what if Boise State loses tonight? If they lose to UNLV tonight, all hell breaks loose, and tomorrow becomes the most fun day that we've ever seen in college football because then it's on, Hoss. And everybody says, I mean, you know, it can happen. Look, we're betting on Boise State. I didn't think Ohio State would lose to Michigan. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen, I didn't think Tennessee would lose to Arkansas. Like, anything can happen. If Boise State loses tonight, all hell breaks loose tomorrow.
So Boise State loses tonight. We could go from Boise State getting a bye and then into the quarterfinals to being all the way out of this thing. Soupy, I'll give you 30 seconds. What do you think happens if Boise State gets beat tonight? Anybody get in?
Boise State doesn't get in. Somebody else will get in. Maybe Indiana, maybe Miami will climb up. But I think actually the way it works, that group of 5, I think they are technically the 12th seed. So I think they bump actually who is the 12th seed right now.
Yeah, it's so to be clear, it's the top 5 conference champions ranked. That's who gets in. So it's not automatics. Everybody thought it was automatics, including myself, but it's not automatics. You have to be the top 5 ranked. So I think chaos is the best word that we just used there. And I don't even want to think about it. I want to watch tonight, see Boise State cover, and then see everything shake out tomorrow. But if I had to sacrifice a check mark for chaos tomorrow, damn it, I would happily do that for the DTL universe. Great discussion on the college football championship weekend. Now, still to come, we got to dive into week 14 in the NFL. Already great start last night. We got more to come. We're only halfway home. DTL Football Friday. It's a vibe. Okay, you degenerates out there. this would normally make it into educate and entertain, but we don't have a lot of information on this, AB, but word coming out as the winter meetings are starting next week, the Juan Soto sweepstakes are about ready to come to an end, and it feels like it's going to be the New York Mets. I want you to predict if it's a 6 or a 7 next to his name on that deal.
Oh, it's a 7. If it's the Mets, it's a 7. Yeah, you're paying tax on that one, trust me, because, well, I mean, nothing against the Mets, but you're paying for that one. So, yeah, I'm going to go 7 on it.
And if he gets that 7, then Peter Alonso's probably a bye-bye one way or the other. And DG, Juan Soto, if he stays in the same city, to me it's going to be because of how the fans treated Aaron Judge during the World Series. He doesn't want to go through that for 10 years if he doesn't sign.
I think no matter what team you're on in New York, any of these big markets, LA, it's tough. Like, they're very tough on you. You're under the microscope. I don't think it matters Mets or Yankees, in my opinion. I think they're the same kind of fan base. They're very much on you, a lot. And so it's a tough place to win, and it's a tough place to kind of grow up. But no matter what, this dude does not earn that money. There's no way.
Wow. Yankees, Red Sox, Mets. Soupy, where are you going?
I want to go with the Yankees just because that's a fan, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think one team will absurdly pay. That's why I agree with AB. Someone is going to give him the 7.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be absolutely ridiculous if they do. I live out here in Southern California. I watched Shohei Ohtani get $700 million and then give $680 into deferred payments. Juan Soto, there's no player worth $70 million a year, or even if it's 12 years or 15 years. But if the market gives him that, then damn it, the market's going to give him that. But right now, this guy is in the best situation possible. And low-key, I think he's enjoyed all this wooing. I think he's enjoyed all of the trips, all of the interviews, everybody throwing all of this cash at him. And right now, he wants to sit back over the weekend and say, where am I going to go? But I would not choose the Mets just because their stadium is really hard to get to. And you got airplanes flying over all the time. I used to fly to LaGuardia all the time. I hated it. Don't go to the Mets. Don't go to the Yankees. Go to the Red Sox. That would really prove them wrong. All right, we are halfway home. We are back live in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. We're halfway through Football Friday. It is a vibe reminder. You can always watch us on demand. Subscribe to our YouTube channel or every single weekday on all of the stadium apps at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, Amazon Prime Video, YouTube TV, and now DirecTV as well. Incredible breakdown by the guys for college football. Well, let's pivot into the world of the NFL. Last night, 65 combined points, and the Packers and the Lions got the week started off just right. But AB, as we move into this weekend, there's a lot of big games that are on the docket. And when you talk about what's going on in the NFC West, that's where we have to start, because the Arizona Cardinals right now, this number has been hovering around 3. This is a pivotal game, and the Seahawks have been playing much better. How are they a 3-point underdog after what they've just done and what they've been the last month?
Yeah, a bunch of travel, to be honest with you, right? Just back and forth across the country. But it's going to be a good game. Look, Arizona's better than people give them credit for. Arizona's a good football team. I know they're 6-6, so is Seattle. And they're both going to be watching. Well, they're not going to be watching, but they're going to see that Rams game against the Bills, because all 3 of those teams, 6-6, the Rams are right there in the hunt for a wild card spot as well. But, yeah, the tough part is that Arizona, we all think about their offense. Their defense is playing pretty good, man. It's pretty good. Like, they're a quiet, sneaky, good football team. But you know what? So Seattle.
Seattle, man, they surprised us in Atlanta against the Falcons, surprised us last week. They beat the 49ers. And the Cardinals, DG, they've got to be kicking themselves a little bit. They had a double-digit lead in Minnesota, and then the last 8 minutes of the game was an absolute disaster. They are so up and down. They're 6-6, just like the Rams are 6-6. Do they get it done, land the 3 and cover?
I don't think Arizona does. They are on a 2-game win streak, so they bounce back a little bit after that. But Seattle has played really well against Arizona and the recency bias here. And so I think that Seattle goes in, and I think this game is close just overall. And because I think it's close, I'm going to take the points here. So I like Seattle to even get an upset win here.
I do too. I think Seattle 7-5, they can extend that lead over the Rams and over the Cardinals. Soupy, let's go to that Bills and Rams game, because the Bills, a lot of people think, are the best team at 10-2 in the AFC. They just beat the Chiefs and covered. And Josh Allen just got engaged. They played great in the snow against the 49ers. They are absolutely flying high, and the books respect that. On the road, out here in La La Land, laying 3.5. Is that too much against this Rams team?
I don't think it is, because the Bills are we agreed. They are the best team in the AFC. Last week, Josh Allen, first quarterback to throw a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown, and he is the MVP favorite right now. And that Bills defense, they have been playing better and better each and every week. Rams, we've seen some good play. We've seen some bad play. It just depends on which of that team that we see, but I just think the Bills are better.
Shout out to George in the chat. He said, Charles is on fire with picks in the chat. George, that's exactly why we put him there. We want to take care of everybody all at the same time. Any questions for Chuck or for Raphael, put them in the chat. He'll answer them for you in real time. AB, the Bills, and it should be clarified that if they finish in a tie with my beloved Chiefs, they would get the number 1 seed. They would get that bye. So essentially, they're basically one game back, but they just need the Chiefs to lose one more. They've got at the Lions next week. Not easy. Home to the Patriots, home to the Jets, and then on the road to the Patriots. So what happens in the next 2 weeks, in my opinion, those last 3 games are super easy. If the Bills win the next 2, I think they win out.
The Bills are at the Lions next week?
Yes, at Detroit.
There are no 2 teams in the NFL playing better than those 2 teams right there. I can't knock the Lions off that top spot because they just keep winning. But the Bills have won 7 straight. They've scored 30-plus points in 6 straight games. Their defense is on fire. Josh Allen is playing at an unstoppable rate, and they don't give a damn what the weather is. It could be -10. It could be in a dome. They are built to go. God, I cannot wait for that game. But you know what? You're right, man. Like, this is going to be a tough one. All right, going on the road all the way to Los Angeles. Sean McVay, good football coach, man. All right, 3.5's a lot of points.
Yeah, he really is. He doesn't mess around either. Texas Joel says, Bills winning the Super Bowl this year. It's Josh Allen's time. There's just sometimes where you're unlucky, where you happen to be playing in a time where there's another really great quarterback. It's kind of like Peyton Manning playing in the Tom Brady era, that he could have won more Super Bowls, but Tom Brady won 7. That is Josh Allen with Patrick Mahomes. He could have won 1 or 2 already, but he playing in the Patrick Mahomes era. As we look at a DG for the Chiefs, very important that they also try and win out. So the Chargers are 8-4. They're no joke. So they go to Cleveland next week, then home to Houston, playing better, then to Pittsburgh. Pivotal game there for both teams. And then they close it out at the Broncos. So right now, the schedule makers didn't do the Chiefs any favors closing out. How important just to win, but we always got to talk from a spread perspective. They're laying 4.
Coach, I don't care. Give all the bad juju to the Chiefs. I'm tired of seeing them. I know that's your team, Coach, but I'm tired of seeing them win. And honestly, I want to be done with them. And they have been suspect the last few weeks. The Chargers go into Kansas City, and I think they get the win this week. So give me the points. Give me the money line. The Chargers get a big upset win this week.
What the hell are you talking about, suspect? They just blew out the Raiders by 2 last week in the last seconds. They beat the Panthers by 3. What are we talking about here? Then, there's a loss to the Bills. Then the Broncos. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe they've been a little suspect the last couple of weeks. But Soupy, somehow they've still managed to win games. But they've got to get right. And you don't get right now playing the Chargers, who are a new physical brand of football under Jim Harbaugh.
The only thing I'm nervous about is J.K. Dobbins out, and now it's going to be Gus Edwards. That mix of Edwards and his, be able to go through the defensive line, and Dobbins more of a flash, they're going to miss that. And Herbert's going to be more to one-dimensional because of especially how great the Kansas City run defense is. And when you're one-dimensional against a Chiefs team that can do everything, especially now with Pacheco back, I think it's going to spell trouble. I do like the Chiefs in this game.
Yeah, I do too, because unfortunately, AB, for J.K. Dobbins, there sometimes you have these players that no matter what they do, they're just injury prone. CMC seems to be the same way. And he was off to a great start. He was playing well. He was playing healthy. And then the injury bug once again. And he's a big-time loss for a season when the running back position is starting to get a lot more attention.
It is. Now, if you look at the backup running backs for Los Angeles behind Gus Edwards, all right, you've got Kamani Vidal, and then you've got a guy named Hassan Haskins, all right? Anybody in Tennessee might remember that guy. He played for the Titans here. He's not a bad running back, all right? I wouldn't be surprised to see him get moved up to the active roster and get some looks. I'm telling you, man, Jim Harbaugh, he could go through running backs. He can use them. He knows exactly what he's doing with them. What he's going to do is essentially muddy this game up. All right. It's going to look like Michigan football from last year. He's going to play defense. Justin Herbert does not turn the ball over. All right. And they are going to play exactly what the Lions game plan was last night. Time of possession. My best defense, all right, against you, Patrick Mahomes, is my offense and you not having the ball. That's why the Lions beat the Packers last night. Jordan Love only got to throw it, 20 times, right? Like, that's how you beat these teams. You don't give them the ball. And that's exactly what the Chargers are going to do. I wouldn't be surprised to see a very low-scoring game in this.
Yeah, when you bet the over 252 and a quarterback only has 31 yards passing at the half, you probably feel like that's a loss. And he still got over 200. Come on, Jordan Love, be better. All right, you guys know it's getting very, very close to playoff time in fantasy. Now, just because Soupy won't be there in our DTL league, he is still our fantasy expert. So who are we playing this week, and who are we sitting this week? Soupy, go.
This is a big weekend because it's the last week of the regular season, so you might need a win, and there's 6 teams on a bye. NFL, do better with your schedule. Starting with Isaiah Pacheco, he took 33% of the snaps, but an extra week of rest. I think that was a ramp-up game. Chargers, 8th most rushing yards allowed since week 9. And Jacoby Myers, yeah, the Raiders are bad, but Myers, he's been a very efficient wide receiver. 15 points he's averaging since week 3. Bucks are 6th in points allowed to the wide receiver. And I'm sitting Geno Smith. In last game against Arizona, he had just 12 points. And Arizona is allowing the 4th fewest passing yards and 3 touchdowns since week 9. And I am parking the Gus bus. He took 52% of the snaps last week, but he had just 6 carries and 33 yards. And the Chiefs' best run defense in the league, allowing the fewest rushing yards per game.
Very interesting. DG, coming to you. What do you make of playing Pacheco, who's been out for many weeks with a broken bone?
I saw this list, and I couldn't disagree more with Pacheco. There is no chance that he's going to run wild or even receive the ball wild against that Chargers defense. You're wrong, Soupy, and that's why you're probably last place in your league.
Excuse me. Sorry, I had something in my throat right there. AB, do you have such a Soupy says nothing.
I want to know what DG is, and he never talks about him in the DTL league.
I didn't play in that one. I don't have enough time. I'm doing other important things, but I am 10-3 in my league that I'm in, that I've been in since 2006.
Well,
wow.
Hey, I'll tell you this. I could boast on this. All right, the DTL Survivor League, the NFL. Yeah, I was out in week 1.
I think at the Bengals.
Same.
I think we all had the Bengals.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doesn't that seem a lifetime ago?
Yeah.
Doesn't that seem a lifetime ago? Crazy. AB, quickly, your thoughts on any of these playing or sitting for Soupy?
I agree. Now, Pacheco, that one will be fascinating, man. I don't ever doubt any Chief player, but look, man, that Chargers defense is for real, and they're physical as hell, dude. Like, if you're coming back from injury, that's not the team to be playing against.
What was your thought process, Soupy, on playing Pacheco when the Chiefs have kind of been spreading it around and using Kareem Hunt more? What's that thought process?
I just think that he only took 33% of the snaps, but I think that it's going to even out more. I think it'll be more of a 50-50 split, but I do think Pacheco could maybe elevate more a little bit. I think he'll be the ground guy. I think Hunt could be more in the passing game. So I think they're both going to have specific roles, and I think they'll do both. They'll both do well with them.
I'm going to give you some good news. I was texting last night with my insider with the Chiefs, and he says that Pacheco looks amazing in practice. He says he looks strong, doesn't look like there's anything that's going to hold him back. And so I think maybe he'll get more effort than what we think, and maybe Soupy will look like a genius. All right, coming up, we still have our prize picks to get to, and also, what is an ACC team thinking? Bringing in a 72-year-old coach after a 93-year. No, he wasn't 93, but you know what I'm talking about. We have Educate, Entertain on the other side. What a good day. It's a vibe. It's Football Friday. It's DTL. Okay, all you degenerates out there watching on our YouTube channel, we adore you all so very much. Continue to hit that like button on the way in. AB, real quick, a couple of games we didn't get to. The Eagles, do you think it's a look-ahead spot? Because they have the Panthers, who've been playing a lot better. They took the Chiefs right down to the wire, but they do have that game in Philadelphia. And now with the Lions having won, the Eagles know there is no room for error.
I don't think that the Eagles have a look ahead because they do it with their defense, right? Like they just choke. It's like a boa constrictor, man. They just choke you out of games. If it was built all on offense, yeah, because there would be some questions like what DG brings up about the Eagles. But the fact that it's defense, like they could win 13-3 and it wouldn't surprise me at all.
I agree. DG, your thoughts?
Because the Eagles can run all over and Barkley will run all over the Panthers. That's why I don't think this is that big of a look ahead, because Saquon has been dynamite. That defense is really good. As long as Hurts doesn't have to win you the game, they're going to be fine.
And up in Minnesota, the Vikings go on the road. And right now, if you want to play the Falcons, Soupy, you want to play them right now. They've been giving games away. Kirk has thrown 4 interceptions last week. He's not playing good football. 0 interceptions. Is this when you want to play Atlanta tied with the Bucs, first place in the South?
Yeah, because they look vulnerable right now. But it is a revenge game for Kirk Cousins. I'm interested in that matchup, but he cannot be giving the turnaways. You have Tyler Algier. You have Bijan Robinson. Let them run it if you need to.
Very interesting. Very
Coach,
interesting.
He didn't mention Ray Ray. Ray Ray is on the team for Kirk Cousins. Come on.
Soupy, why can't you support your boy? Why can't we put our feelings to the side?
I like Darnell Mooney better, actually.
Wow.
That's a
DG.
t-shirt.
Not being on the same side as Soupy actually makes me feel good.
You guys are too much. All right. It's been a great day so far. Do not forget, we are on demand on Saturday, Sunday, 2 live shows in the morning at 10 a.m. I will be hosting from the road. And then Sunday night, DG will be in the hosting chair for Sunday Night Football, the Chargers and the Chiefs. We're back live in 5 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. It is a vibe. It is Football Friday here on DTL. And you know, we've got different things we like to do every week. We also love to support our good friends in the cinema. So this week, today, our PrizePicks is presented by Werewolves, the movie.
Do you remember when Daddy used to tell you that story about the 3 little pigs and the big bad wolf? Do you remember why the big bad wolf couldn't get in the house?
Because it was made of bricks?
Just like your house.
Whatever happens tonight, remember it is my choice.
I know.
We have a 9-hour window to test and record our findings. Good luck tonight.
In theaters today, I'll be front and center tonight with my 2 beautiful children. All right, Soupy, PrizePicks. What are we playing today? Go.
I love Lou Diamond Phillips, but I also love Kirk Cousins throwing the ball against his old team, the Vikings. I have a feeling that the Atlanta is going to be playing from behind most of this game. So give me Kirk Cousins to throw a lot. Hopefully he doesn't throw any picks. And I'm going to do something for you, AB. I'm going with Will Levis, the demon pick, 250 yards, because the Jags are last in drop back EPA, last in drop back success, and last in opponent's yards per pass attempt. And this is the demon pick. Just letting you know, Merry Christmas. PrizePicks has moved it from a 100 times multiplier to now possibly 1,000 times multiplier. And I'm going to give you my last pick, Tyrone Tracy. Saints, well, they are not very good. They're allowing 5.1 yards per carry to the running back, and they're 31st in rush EPA. I think Tracy goes over 60 and a half, more than 60 and a half.
2025 PrizePicks is going to be a big part of what we do. I love it. Very simple. More, less, demon, goblin, all of that. Now it's time to educate, entertain. All right, we got one big topic left in AB. I don't even know why in the world we would want to do this if you're Bill Belichick, but with Mac leaving, and I think he's in his 80s now, at 72 years of age, Bill Belichick, it has been confirmed, has interviewed for the coaching job at North Carolina. Why would he want to do this?
You know what? I don't think that he did interview. You know what I think he's doing? Consulting. What? I think he's helping out, because if he were interviewing, why the hell would you let him leave the building? What are you doing? Who are you going to hire over Bill Belichick, right? No, I think Belichick is helping out not only the university, but helping out his good friend there, Mr. Brown, Coach Brown, whose brother, Watson Brown, used to coach at Vanderbilt, all right? Used to also coach, all right, the Naval Academy, where his father coached. So I think that Belichick is doing some help. I don't think that he's interviewing for this job.
That's an interesting take. It really, really is. Mac Brown worked with him at ESPN. Great dude. I never felt like he was a fit for the NIL world. And that's, I guess, where I fall DG with Bill Belichick. I don't think he would ever want to sit in the living room and say, here's a check, young man, and feel like he's on the wrong side of the fence.
No, I don't see Bill Belichick going to college. That's a good and sneaky little look for AB, being kind of a somebody to be a counselor, honestly, and be somebody who can kind of help grow the program. That's a more of a laid back role, and that's kind of where Bill Belichick in his career. It's good weather out there, so maybe that's why he's going out there. I don't see Bill Belichick going to college at all, especially not North Carolina.
And I think that he's been sneaky good on TV, and a lot of guys, Soupy, when they get to TV and they enjoy it, like Nick Saban, they're like, man, I can make really good money here and have fun and not have to deal with the nonsense. I think that's where Bill Belichick's mind should be.
He's been loose. He's exciting, exuberant. He's a different person than what we've seen as a coach. Maybe because we just saw this with Andrew Luck in Stanford. He might be thinking about taking the general manager role with UNC and possibly being that part of the program.
Very interesting. Good takes by all of you. Yeah, quickly, AB, go.
Could you see Bill Belichick hitting the recruiting trail, heading to parents' houses?
You see him walking in? Oh, excuse me, Mr. Belichick. He'd have all of his Super Bowl rings.
All of them.
He's walking.
Why don't you meet my friend Tommy Brady?
That would be something. Hey, Tom, we got the number one guy here. We're in Biloxi, Mississippi. And could you talk to him real quick? Parents, Gene and Tom. Oh, my God. I can't see it. I can't see it.
Go ahead.
No, go back, producer man.
I was going to say, real quick, Tom Brady, part owner of the Raiders. That's where you want Bill Belichick to go.
That's what I keep saying. You can't go to college for these old school NIL. Doesn't match. It doesn't match up at all. All right, if you weren't here at the top of the hour, we got a really good live number today. Many of you were not, because an hour is a long time. We get that. We respect your time. We got all the picks quickly in a little something we like to call the Whiparound. It's going to be a good day, a ton of picks. AB, start us off. Go.
Yes, sir. Tonight, let's have a little multi-sport parlay. Illinois basketball money line, Boise State football money line, plus 135. And then Saturday, Oregon, Big Ten championship, minus 3.5. Let's go. I love my Ducks.
And I'll take Boise State, and I'll lay the 4.5. They've got big-time motivation. A $20 million payday to the university would be really, really nice. And the conference, I think they cover tonight, and they get in. Iowa State, that game's tomorrow. I think they have too much. Arizona State, a nice feel-good, but they're missing their best player. They do not cover. Iowa State wins the Big 12. Soupy, go.
Both games tomorrow, but I think Arizona covers and they win because they got Cam Scatterboo, who has over 140 yards rushing in 5 of his last 7. Clemson, SMU, that top 15 offenses. This game's going to go back and forth. Give me the over 55.5.
DG, let's go.
Friday Night Lights, we got Western Kentucky and Jacksonville State. We're going to go with the first quarter, both teams to score at minus 110. And then we're going to go to Kirk O'Chains throwing the ball to Ray McLeod over 30.5 receiving yards at minus 114.
And finally, we got the 5-pack. The 5-pack for Big Chuck. Big Chuck, go.
Friday, Siri. Inter Milan versus Parma, both teams to score. Then League One, Lille versus Brest, with Lille averaging 1.6 at home and Brest 1 on the road. Saturday action, Bundesliga, Gladbach welcomes Dortmund to town for the Borussia Derby. First half over 1.5 goals, which they've had 2 or more first half goals in 5 straight. EPL, Brentford versus Newcastle. Brentford, first half team total over half a goal. They've had a first half goal in 11 of 14 league matches. Lastly, La Liga, Betis welcomes Barcelona to town. Both teams are scoring over 2.5. That's cashed in 5 straight and 7 of their last 10 encounters.
I see 5 check marks there. Robert says I'm smashing that Oregon pick. Everybody loves Oregon with you this week, AB. Everybody. All right, Howie Schwab, crew play of the day. The crew chose what?
Boise State, going with it. -4.5, taking it. Yep. They're riding with you, Coach.
They're riding with me, baby. I feel it. All right, now, Raphael's stat of the day. I know it came in late. What do we got today, AB?
I don't think we have it. I think it came in too late.
Right now, I got one. Tulane Green Wave football, 15-3 against the spread in their last 18 road games. So technically, tonight is a road game. So 15-3 against the spread. That is our stat of the day. As we head into the weekend, AB, I know we've got on demand tomorrow. How do you feel about this weekend for DTL? We're going to be all over the place.
We will. It's going to be fantastic. All right, we've got, like you said, on demand coming tomorrow. We'll have all college football picks. DG, the crew. We got weekend wagers, right? I believe today. Is that correct? 2 p.m. Eastern. And then, like you said, Coach, Sunday with you in the morning, DG at night. Can't wait, man. It's going to be fun.
That's what we do, man. We grind. Everybody's committed to the brand, committed to the cause, and committed to what we are trying to do. It doesn't happen overnight. But damn it, today, for me and AB, it's a special day, 1 year, and we're just getting started with our rebrand and heading in the right direction. And we can't thank all of you enough for allowing us to do that and keeping us on the air. It's been amazing, but we're just getting started. Understand this, on this Football Friday, there's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. Brian Tucker, Lobo, my man DG, Big Soupy, Charles, Raphael, producer man, my partner AB of almost 5 years. I'm simply the coach, trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's truly what we're all about every single day. Remember the brand. It's DTL. It's driving the line. Good luck.